Start na po.
Okay, the next topic is about the Noli and its goals. Pa-next po. The Noli Me Tangere, Touch Me Not reveals the current situation of the Filipinos during the Spanish colonizations. Ang ibig sabihin daw po nito, ang Touch Me Not is huwag mo akong salingin. Kumbaga, ito daw po ay isang paraan ni Rizal upang buksan ang mga isipan ng mga Pilipino sa mga pang-aabuso, kawalang katarungan at paghihirap na dinadanas nila during the Spanish colonization. The novel reflects the social cancer of the country, the deep problems of abuse, inequality, and corruptions that infected both the government and the church. Through his writing, nais din ni Rizal na mamulat ang mga Pilipino sa kanilang pagkakapi at hikayat nilang magnasang magkaroon ng kalayaan at pagbabago sa mapayapa at matalinong pamamaraan. Next is the novel depicts Filipino society, superstition, hypocrisy, and ignorance and corruptions. Ibig sabihin daw po nito, Rizal used the characters and events in the story to mirror real-life situation in the Philippines. He exposed the false religiosity of people who pretended to be holy but cruel and unjust. Ipinakita rin niya ang kamangmangan at bulag na pagsunod ng mga Pilipino na naging dahilan upang mapadali silang mapangibabawan ng mga Espanyol at mga praile. The novel also revealed the corruption of officials and the greed of the clergy, who use religion as a tool to gain power and wealth instead of guiding people toward goodness. Next naman po is the Rizal also expressed the sadness, dreams, hopes, and Filipino creature. Ibig sabihin daw po nito, beyond criticism, Noli Me Tangere is also a cry from the heart of nation longer for justice, dignity, and education. Ginamit rin ni Rizal ang mga tauhan sa pangyayari na ito upang ipakita ang mga sitwasyon sa ating lipunan. Rizal balances criticism by showing the virtues and traits of Filipinos. Ibig sabihin naman po, the novel exposed many negative aspects of society. Rizal also emphasized the positive qualities of the Filipino people, their kindness, hospitality, faithfulness, and strong family values. Ipinakita rin dito ni Rizal ang kanyang layunin ay hindi lamang upang sirain ang bayan, kundi hikayatin ng mga Pilipino na magbago at pagbutihin ang kanilang sarili. Pa-next po. Ay, wait. Dito naman po sa it initiated Filipino nationalism that led to the 1896 revolution. Ibig sabihin daw po nito, yung Noli Me Tangere become a powerful instruments in awakening Filipino nationalism when Rizal exposed the injustices, abuses, and corruption to Spanish friars and officials through his novel. It opened the eyes of many Filipinos to the truth about their situation. The people realized that they are being oppressed and exploited in their own land. Next naman po is Noli was originally written in Spanish. At dito naman po, ang sinasabi naman po dito is, which the officially and educated language of the Philippines during the colonial period, by using Spanish, Rizal ensured that the Spanish authorities, friars, and intellectuals would read and understand the book. Next po. Dito naman po sa The Book Subverts and Against the Government, ibig sabihin naman po nito, Noli Me Tangere became a powerful instrument in awakening Filipino nationalism when Rizal exposed the injustices, abuses, and corruption of Spanish friars. Oh. Mali. Ito po, ang ibig sabihin naman po, the Spanish authorities and friars viewed Noli Me Tangere as a rebellious and dangerous book because it exposed the corruption, hypocrisy, and abuse of power within both the government and the church. Rizal's writing awake the minds of Filipino encouraged them to question the injustice their experiences. For the reason, the Spanish colonialists labeled the book as subversive, meaning it was seen as something that could undermine their authority and control. Next naman po is extradition cases were filed against him, leading to the writing of El Filibusterismo. Sinasabi naman po dito na ang Spanish government continued to Rizal as a political threat. They filed cases against him in attempt to discredit and silence him. Instead of backing down, Rizal responded through his writing. He created El Filibusterismo, the sequel to Noli Me Tangere, which carried a stronger revolutionary message. While Noli aimed to open the eyes of Filipinos, El Pili was written to awaken the courage to fight against oppression. This shows Rizal growth from a reformist to a more radical tradition teacher. Next naman po is yung kay Governor General Emilio Terrero, summoned Rizal to defend himself and read the novel. Sinasabi po dito na si Governor General Terrero personally called to Rizal the Malacanang Palace to explain the content of his novel. Rizal bravely defended his work, explaining that his purpose was not insult Spain or the church but to reveal the truth about the social and moral problems in the Philippines. Terrero's curious about the accusation, asked for a copy of the book, read it himself. Next naman po is he found nothing subversive but warned Rizal that his enemies were powerful. Pagkatapos daw po marinig ni Governor General Terrero, na-realize daw po niya na ang Noli Me Tangere is a contain any direct attack against the government. Instead, it's portrayed the real-life struggles and injustice faced the Filipino. However, Terrero also understood that the priors and influential Spaniards were enraged by the novel because it exposed their corruptions. He warned Rizal to cautious because these enemies were powerful enough. Next naman po is yung the book price rose from piso to 30 pesos because it is popularity and rarity. Sinasabi po dito na the government banned the novel copies become very limited and difficult to find. As demand increased, the price of the book rose dramatically from only 1 peso to 30 peso per copy. These show how much Filipino valued Rizal's work and how eager they were to understand its message. The rising price also symbolized the great impact and importance of the novel in awakening the spirit of nationalism among Filipinos values. Next naman po, the anti-Noli. Many Spanish official friars and church leaders opposed to Noli Me Tangere. Sinasabi po dito na the novel exposed the abuses, greed, and hypocrisy of Spanish priests and officials during the colonial period. Because of this, they considered as it dangerous book. Next naman po is Father Salvador Font lead the prohibition of the novel's reproduction and circulation. Si Father Salvador Font, the head of the Permanent Commission on Censorship, was the main figure responsible for banning the book. He officially ordered that Noli Me Tangere should not be printed, sold, or distributed anywhere in the Philippines. This censorship shows how Spanish authorities use religious and power to suppress freedom and to control what Filipino could read and learn. Next naman po is Father Jose Rodriguez, Superior of Guadalupe, wrote Cuestiones de Sumo Interés to attack Rizal's novel. Sinasabi po dito na response to Noli Me Tangere, Father Jose Rodriguez wrote a book titled Cuestiones de Sumo Interés. Sinasabi po dito ay Questions of Great Interest. In this writing, he accused Rizal of attacking the Catholic faith and warned that reading the Noli was a mortal sin. Rodriguez tried to convince Filipino that Rizal's work was evil and would lead them away from the God. And the last po is his writings were sold and distributed in churches after Mass, and many Filipinos were forced to buy copies. Insay po dito na ang the friars used this influence in the church to spread Rodriguez' book and force parishioners to purchase it after attending Mass. Sinasabi rin po dito na marami ang Pilipino ang napipilitang sumunod dahil sa takot o panggigipit. Ipinapakita rin dito na ang pangyayaring ito kung paano ginagamit ng mga prailang reliyon bilang sandata ng kontrol at kung paano nila pinatahimik ang mga tao na nagsabi ng katotohanan kabilang na si Jose Rizal. Ayun lang po.
Okay, next naman po yung Pro-Noli. Maraming Pilipino kabilang ang mga scholar, pari at mga kilalang tao ang naniniwala at tumatanggap sa akda ni Dr. Jose Rizal na Noli Me Tangere. Isa sa mga ito ay ang Reverendo Vicente Garcia, isang Pilipinong pari at scholar na ipinagtanggol si Rizal laban sa mga paratang ni Padre Rodriguez na nagsasabing ang Noli ay laban sa simbahan. Gumamit siya ng sagisag panulat na Justo Desiderio Magalang at sumulat ng aklat bilang tugon kay Padre Rodriguez. Sa kanyang sinulat, ipinaliwanag ni Garcia na hindi ignorante si Rizal dahil siya ay nakapagtapos at pinarangalan sa mga universidad sa Espanya. Nilinaw rin niya na hindi tinutuligsa ni Rizal ang simbahan kundi ang mga tiwaling opisyal at mapang-abusong pari lamang. Idinagdag din niya na hindi kasalanang mortal ang pagbasa ng Noli Me Tangere. Next po. Samantalang si Marcelo H. Del Pilar na gumamit ng sagisag panulat na Dolores Manapat ay isa ring tagapagtanggol ng akda ni Rizal. Sumulat siya ng akdang pinamagatang kaingat kayo or maging madalas katulad ng igat na tumutuligsa sa mga maling paratang ni Padre Rodriguez. Ginamit ni Del Pilar ang parehong estilo ng pagsulat ngunit ipinagtanggol si Rizal at inilantad ang pagkukunwaring ng ilang mga praile. Pinuri niya ang mga katapangan ni Rizal sa paglalantad ng mga katiwalian at kawalang katarungan noong panahon ng mga Espanyol. Sa kabuuan, pinakita ni na Vicente Garcia at Marcelo H. Del Pilar na ang Noli Me Tangere ay hindi laban sa relihiyon, kundi isang makabayang akda na layuning buksan ng isipan ng mga Pilipino sa mga mapag-abuso at kamaliang nagaganap sa ilalim ng pamamahalang kolonyal at mga ilang tiwaling leader ng mga simbahan. Yun lang po.
Hello everyone, my name is Patricia Netranes and our next topic is all about the characters of Noli Me Tangere. Pa-next po. First is Crisostomo Ibarra, or simply Ibarra, is the protagonist of the novel. He is the son of Don Rafael Ibarra, a Filipino businessman. After studying in Europe for 7 years, he returns to the Philippines. Well educated and respected, he faces suspicion from local friars due to his father's recent imprisonment and labeling as subversive, and heretic, which ultimately leads to his father's death in jail. Ibarra initially advocates for reforming the Philippines from within, collaborating with government officials and friars without dismantling the system. However, by the novel's end, after being branded a heretical, subversive, his reform and revolution ideas start aligning with Elias' more radical theories. Pa-next po. Next is Maria Clara, a well-recognized woman in San Diego, known for her high social standing. Raised by Captain Tiago, she is betrothed to Ibarra. Despite her love for Ibarra, she is pressured to conform to social expectations and the wishes of Father Damaso. Later, she discovers that Father Damaso is her biological father, adding to her internal conflict. She eventually provides letters from Ibarra to the courts, which are used as evidence against him, leading to her intense remorse. Pa-next po. Father Damaso, an arrogant and cruel Franciscan friar and former curate of San Diego. He is known for his harsh words and notorious character. Father Damaso is displeased with Maria Clara's engagement to Ibarra and manipulates events to prevent their marriage. He is revealed to be Maria Clara's biological father, further complicating the relationships and conflicts in the novel. Pa-next po. Don Santiago de los Santos, or mas tinatawag na Kapitan Tiago, a wealthy and well-respected Filipino socialite in Binondo. With properties in Pampanga and Laguna de Bay, he is a friend of the government and considered Spanish by the colonialists. Kapitan Tiago is concerned with marrying his daughter, Maria Clara, to an affluent man. He quickly abandons Ibarra when the friars disgrace him and seeks a new match for Maria Clara in his nephew Linares. Pa-next po. Elias. Elias is a mysterious friend and ally of Ibarra. He first appears as a pilot during a picnic with Ibarra and Maria Clara. Elias wants to revolutionize the country and free it from Spanish oppression. After Ibarra saved his life, Elias pledged to protect Ibarra from his enemies. He tries to persuade Ibarra to join revolutionary groups against the abusive Guardia Civil. Elias believes that the government and church are corrupt and that true improvement of Philippine society requires radical change. Pa-next po. Don Anastasio or Pilosopong Tasio. Pilosopong Tasio, he serves as the voice of wisdom and enlightenment. He respects Ibarra's vision for education and embodies the desire for reform through his cryptic writings. He represents the intellectual critique of the colonial regime. Pa-next po. Sisa, Basilio, and Crispin. Sisa is she presents the suffering and helplessness of the marginalized. Her descent into the madness symbolizes the breakdown of family and societal structures under oppression. Crispin and Basilio, they are the symbols of innocence and the exploitation of the vulnerable. Their tragic experience highlight the abuses within the church and the injustice faced by the poor. Crispin's death and Basilio's suffering underscore the novel's themes of oppression and loss of innocence. Pa-next po. La Doctora Victorina de los Reyes de Espadaña, a Filipina woman who imitates Spanish women and is married to Don Tiburcio. She symbolized the colonial mentality among the some Filipinos during that time. Pa-next po. So here are the other characters of Nolime Tangere. First is Padre Bernardo Salvi, a Franciscan curate of San Diego who is described as a very thin and sickly priest who is secretly harboring lust for Maria Clara. It is also implied that his last name, Salvi, is a short term for salvation, or be a short term for the word salvage, meaning a bad character who is willing to kill a child merely because of an alleged stealing of money. El Alvarez or Alperes, chief of the Guardia Civil and a mortal enemy of the priest in San Diego. He is the husband of Doña Consolacion. Doña Consolacion, wife of Alperes, nicknamed as La Musa de los Guardias Civiles, the muse of the civil guards or La Areriza, was a former laundrywoman who passes herself as a Peninsular best remembered for her abusive treatment of Sisa. Don Tiburcio de Espadaña, a Spanish quack doctor who is limp and submissive to his wife, Dofia Victorina. Teniente Guevara, a close friend of Don Rafael Ibarra, he reveals to Crisostomo how then Rafael Ibarra's death came about. Alfonso Linares, a distant nephew to Tiburcio de Espadana, the future fiancé of Maria Clara, although he presented himself as a practitioner of law. This was later revealed that he just, like Don Tiburcio, is a fraud. He later died due to the given medication of Don Tiburcio. Tia Isabel, Captain Shago's cousin, who raised Maria Clara. Governor General, a named person in the novel, he is the most powerful official in the Philippines. He has a great disdain for the friars and corrupt officials, and sympathizes with Ibarra. Don Filippo Lino, Vice Mayor of the town of San Diego, leader of the Liberals. Padre Manuel Martin, he is the linguist curate of Nervi Town who delivers sermons during San Diego's fiesta. Don Rafael Ibarra, father of Crisostomo Ibarra, though he is the richest man in San Diego, he is also the most virtuous and generous. Doña Pia Alba, wife of Capitan Tiago and mother of Maria Clara. She died of giving birth to her daughter. In reality, she was raped by Damaso so her she could be her child. Yun lang po. Thank you po.
Good evening, everyone. For the last part of Noli Me Tangere, I will share a reflection about this. So, ang Noli Me Tangere ay isang kwentong nagbibigay ng kahalagahan ng edukasyon, kalusugan at dignidad sa Pilipinas. Isinalaysay nito ang kwento ni Dr. Jose Rizal na humaharap sa mga hamon tulad ng kahirapan, pang-aabuso at kapabayaan noong panahon ng kolonyal sa Espanyol. Hinarap din ni Rizal ang mga hamon na mamamayang sa pangabi. Good evening, everyone. So, may reflection in Noli Me Tangere ay isa siyang kwento na nagbibigay ng diin sa kahalagahan ng edukasyon, kalusugan at dignidad ng Pilipinas. Isinalaysay nito ang kwento ni Dr. Rizal na humaharap sa mga hamon katulad ng kahirapan, pang-aabuso at kapabayaan noong panahon ng kolonyal na Espanyol. Hinarap din ni Rizal ang hamon ng mamamayang Pilipino at kanilang pakikibaka para sa pagkakapantay-pantay at katarungan. So, binigyan din ng kanyang mga isinulat ang kahalagahan ng edukasyon at kalusugan, gayon din ang pangangailangan ng mamamayang Pilipino na magkaroon ng kaalaman. At sa kwento na to, tinampok din ni Rizal ang papel na magpapaunlad tsaka magpapabuti ng ating bansa. Ipinamulat sa atin ni Rizal na ang tao sa Pilipinas ay lumalaban at hindi gumagamit ng dahas, kundi lumaban gamit ang mapayapang pamamaraan. Yun lang po.